everybody? It's Justin. Happy AMA Day. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for being here, everybody. Let's make sure everything's working. How you guys doing today? How's your Wednesday? Good? All things good? Everything look good? I got a mildly new setup that I'm pretty excited about. I was a couple minutes late because of it, but I think I got this thing figured out in a way that I'm really happy with. It looks pretty good. I'm gonna pull it up here, make sure I can see everything on my end, and make sure that we're live and all the things. So let me refresh real quick. Sorry guys, first couple seconds, I just gotta make sure everything looks good, but I think this is gonna work pretty well with my computer and my line of sight here. I'm using my trackpad instead of using my actual laptop, which I do sometimes when I feel like makes things shake a little bit. Try not to make anything shake for you. Let's see if I can see myself. Come on, loading. I pay for this 1 gigabyte internet and it's not always awesome. Okay, cool, all right, I got myself here. Let me click for more. We got some people live. What's up? Hi Jackie, hi Rhea, what's up? All right, let me see here. Lighting, pretty good, right? Looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this, I think. And I can see you, I can see my screen, I can see all the things. We got the dual screens going. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so what's up everybody? Welcome to Live Ask Me Anything, number, I think I got this right. 36, that's crazy. 36 weeks is a long time. We've been doing this every week for 36 weeks. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next week when I'm in Puerto Rico. I don't know, maybe we'll do an AMA from Puerto Rico, not sure. But anyway, this is AMA number 36, and this is a crazy one because, as you can see here, it is the back to school special. Live Ask Me Anything number 36, back to school special. I guess we'll probably call this back to school special 2018, right? Because we may end up doing this year over year as more people come into Clovis, as Clovis Kids grows, as the Facebook groups grow and everything. For those of you that don't know, you have stumbled upon a Clovis Live Ask Me Anything. We call them AMAs for Ask Me Anything, duh. This is where I take questions from everyone from the previous week in all of my Facebook groups. So we have the free Clovis Academy, facebook.com/group/Clovis Academy, and that is basically, it's free for anyone to join. You can just go in there and join, and it's awesome. And there's over 1,200 members, always ask me fantastic questions. There's a boatload of results in there, like crazy results getting posted today, incredible transformations, all the things you can learn about Clovis. Then we have the paid membership groups, that is I Am Clovis and Clovis Kids. And today we're gonna be talking all about Clovis Kids, because I've been getting a lot of questions about kids back to school, lunches, breakfasts, all the things. So we're gonna talk about all of those things today, okay? Now, I'm gonna preface this for you because if you guys have seen any of my content before, I've done quite a few episodes on kids. So there's Live Ask Me Anything number 9, there's number 20, I believe, which is Stop Telling Your Kids to Eat Vegetables. Number 9 was Feeding Your Children and Their Gut Bugs. We did Time to Change Your Mind. We did what makes Clovis different and why you need it. I talk about kids in a lot of these episodes, and there are a few where children and kids are right there specifically in the title. So if you go to clovis.store/AMA, you can find the ones with children, like childhood nutrition, all those things. You can find all the show notes, all the podcasts, everything. So today's back to school special, we will be talking all about childhood nutrition. So if you know anything about me, you know that that means, hold on, let me fix this here. All right, fixed it. That means we're in for a very happy-go-lucky chat about how everything is wonderful in the world of childhood nutrition, and all the Clovis kids are super healthy. We're gonna talk about all the wonderful snacks that your kids need. We're gonna talk about all the amazing complicated recipes that your kids need to be healthy. We're gonna talk about how children's food is completely different from grown-up food. 2 different things, right? We're gonna talk about how kids need more variety because, well, no one's actually ever given me a good answer for that one. So we're gonna talk about that one. We're gonna talk about how sugar is okay for kids as long as they get outside and play and they're active, right? Okay, I'm lying. All nonsense. We're not gonna talk about any of that stuff. We're gonna talk about some of it because I know that's what you guys want from me, okay? But I'm going to remove the nonsense and I'm going to drill into your heads the importance of your child's nutrition. And I'm not going to bullshit you because your kids don't deserve that. Your kids need somebody like me on their side. Most of society is not on the side of your children. They just don't know it, okay? So we're gonna talk about that. And I'm really sorry because I saw all of your feedback. I saw all the comments in the live videos. I know you guys wanna talk about breakfast ideas and lunch ideas and all these things, and we're going to, okay? But I need you to meet me halfway. So I was figuring out the best way to do this, and I came to a compromise, right? I am not the guy that does fluff. I don't do fluff pieces. I don't know how. I can't do it. I got into this game because I was sick of bullshit from the mainstream, right? So I'm gonna try to meet you halfway. Now I can't quite go status quo and be a mommy and me blogger or vlogger and talk about my fancy celery wrap recipe, right? Can't do that, okay? So I'm gonna get some things off my chest first, then I'm gonna help you with some food ideas. I'm gonna give away a lot of information from Clovis Kids for free right here tonight, and that is a paid membership. That's $127. I'm gonna give you some of that for free. How's that sound? Not all bad, right? I promise. But first, I need to get things off my chest. I need to drop some knowledge. I need to remove the excuses from the parents, okay? And I need to drop some knowledge hard, and that is going to happen. Okay, so bear with me. If you're a parent, you need to hear this. It's very important. We cannot forget why we are here. There's a reason why we are here, and it's not for me to tell you the latest way to make your kid's lunchbox look like a Pinterest post. That's not why I'm here, okay? Understand that. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Justin Nault. I'm a certified nutritional therapist. I'm a specialist in sports nutrition. I'm a specialist in fitness nutrition. I'm the founder and CEO of Clovis. I invented a line of products called the Perfect Paleo Powder right here in this kitchen. And those are sold at clovis.store. You can pick those up. Now I do custom nutrition plans, one-on-one nutrition counseling. I've done it for over 500 people with incredible transformations. Help people lose 100 pounds, 60 pounds, 40 pounds, help people get stronger, help people build more muscle mass, help people be better at triathlons. I do nutrition for professional athletes, MMA fighters, all the things, right? That's a bit about me. I want to transform your life. I want to transform the health and well-being of your entire family. That is my mission. I'm gonna get a little bit to my family here and why I got here, why I'm standing here in front of you, what put me here, the frustrations that I went through, right? So let's start with what I'm calling the State of the Union, okay? Now, the #1 health crisis in America is metabolic disease. Now, I talk about this a lot in other AMAs, right? Let me erase this. So the #1 health crisis in America is metabolic disease. Why? Because things are changing decade over decade. For instance, the average insulin level in American adults is 3 times higher than it used to be, and we just call that normal. More than 100 million Americans, that's a third of all people, adults, are type 2 diabetic or pre-diabetic. Now the crazy thing is, 87% of the people who have diabetes don't know that they have it, okay? 87% of diabetics don't know that they're diabetic. What? And over 100 million people are diabetic and pre-diabetic in America. We spend $327 billion a year treating type 2 diabetes. We spend over $200 billion a year treating dementia. These are just 2 examples that I picked out because they are both chronic metabolic diseases. They are 100% preventable through lifestyle intervention. Some would argue, you can get in trouble for saying things like these, but some would argue that they are completely reversible if you catch them by a certain time, okay? Now, the only thing that solves chronic diseases is to not get them in the first place. That's not treatment, that's called prevention. And we're gonna talk about prevention because prevention begins with, you guessed it, our kids. Prevention begins with our children, okay? But when we examine the current state of our child's health, it's very grim. What do I mean? We have obese newborns. We have obese newborns. Did you guys hear that? I don't know if you heard that. We have obese newborns. Yeah, crazy, right? We have insulin-resistant 6-month-olds. Pre-diabetic 6-month-old babies. And while all this is going on, we have wonderful companies like Coca-Cola who have things like the Beating Obesity campaigns that promote their 180 products that are all low calorie. How is this shit legal? Don't know, everybody, but that's what we're up against, okay? Now, it's all too easy for myself and all of you watching, everybody out there, to start getting holier than thou right now. Yeah, but we're not part of the problem. We know better, we know this, we know that. So, we're smarter than everyone else, right? No, don't ever think like that. You know that I don't teach anyone to be that way. So, I want to share a quick story with you because this happened just today. I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast. He had a congresswoman on from Hawaii. Her name was Tulsi Gabbard. I hope I'm saying that right. But she told a story that in Hawaii, just one little anecdotal story of an obese man in Hawaii who was going to a nutritionist for help, and the nutritionist suggested, why don't you eat salad every day? And this obese man said, well, that's no problem. I do eat salad every day. What he neglected to tell her was that he was talking about macaroni salad, okay? So he was eating macaroni salad every day, and he thought that he was eating a salad. Now, it's very easy to laugh at that, think it's funny, but it's actually not funny at all, because this guy didn't know that what he was saying was inaccurate. He literally didn't know, which we know for a fact means that his life experience was far different than mine and was probably far different than yours as well. We have to understand that what we here at Clovis believe is common sense is anything but common sense, okay? So the deck is stacked against us from the time we are born, and I want to dive into this, okay? So let's jump in, just full blown. Like I said, I gotta get shit off my chest first. Let's talk about what the sugar industry has done to America, okay? So 80% of foods in your grocery store have added sugar. There are 56 different names for sugar on the ingredients list. 56 different ways to say sugar on the ingredients list. Specifically, so you don't know what to look for. There's no way you're gonna memorize a list of 56. I don't know them all. I'll tell you right now, I don't know them all. I'd have to carry a list with me in the grocery store, except I don't have to because I know all the things that I buy. I know what's Clovis and what isn't, right? Now, if you read nutrition facts, every single item will show a recommended daily amount. So let's say you have, vitamin C, and it'll say 30% of your daily vitamin C, right? Sugar does not show that, because they don't want you to know what is an acceptable amount of sugar, because it is absurdly low, even by mainstream medical standards, right? So this is how they hide things. Now, sugar, as we know, causes liver fat accumulation. Now, I talked about this in Time to Change Your Mind, how sugar impacts skinny people, genetically thin people, and that is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which like 40% of people in America have now. It's staggering. Go watch AMA number 34, How to Change Your Mind, Time to Change Your Mind, for a deep dive on that, how sugar impacts skinny people and children, most notably fructose. We are going to talk about fruit this episode a little bit later. Yes, fructose is the same molecule in high fructose corn syrup that is found in whole fruits, but obviously not the same thing. They're different, okay? So we're going to talk about that, more on that soon. Now, 1 soda per day, one soda per day increases your risk of type 2 diabetes by 29%. One 12-ounce soda, regardless of your diet, because calories don't tell the whole story. So they'll lead you to believe that calories has something to do with this. Hint, it doesn't. It's just the sugar, the insulin resistance, the way that fructose impacts your liver, the insulin spikes, blood glucose levels, all these things, right? Okay? Now notice how I said 1 soda per day. The reason why I'm getting into this is because now we're jumping into kids. So we're going to talk about kids' drinks, okay? Now I'm just going to list these for you, and I want you to understand how bad this is. 1 soda per day increases your risk of type 2 diabetes by 29%. That 1 can of Coca-Cola, let's say, 1 soda, has 39 grams of sugar from fructose. 39 grams of sugar. That's 10 teaspoons of sugar, if you need another reference point. But let's move on. For the kiddos, Mott's all natural apple juice per 12 ounces, like a can of Coke, right? This is 1 12-ounce can of Coke, okay? Increased risk of type 2 diabetes, 29%. Mott's all natural apple juice per 12 ounces. 38 grams of sugar, 1 gram off. That's 10 teaspoons of sugar. 1% chocolate milk, 37 grams of sugar, 10 teaspoons. Gatorade, 21 grams of sugar, 6 teaspoons of sugar. Tropicana Original Orange Juice, 33 grams of sugar, 8 teaspoons of sugar. Capri Sun, 26 grams of sugar, 7 teaspoons of sugar. Kool-Aid, 38 grams of sugar, another 10 teaspoons of sugar. Fat-free milk, 18 grams of sugar, that's 5 teaspoons of sugar. In fat-free milk, this is going to be a crazy episode, guys. I'm telling you, nothing gets me more upset than childhood nutrition. Nothing. Nothing on this planet, okay? What are we doing here, people? What are we doing? There is no more of this moderation game. My kid only has one Capri Sun a day. Okay, you just raise your kid's risk of type 2 diabetes by 29% for that one drink that you can't get them to give up. What are we doing here, people? Over half of Congress, let's talk about politics. Over half of Congress accepts money from food industries. More than half of them. The three biggest food subsidies in the US are wheat, corn, and soy. Taxpayers pay $20 billion a year for wheat, corn, and soy, and I talk about this in the Time to Change Your Mind episode, number 34, right? Is it any coincidence that the food pyramid says up to 11 servings a day of healthy grains? Of course this is not coincidence. In 2008, when the market collapsed on itself, if all of your money had been solely invested in big food companies like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and McDonald's, you would have made a killing. You'd be a multi-millionaire right now, because all their profits skyrocketed somehow when the entire market collapsed. This is confusing. What a weird coincidence, Justin. It's a weird coincidence you just spelled out, right? Pull your head out of your ass. What are we talking about here, everybody? This is crazy. The government is so deeply involved in this that it trickles down into the mainstream medical practice. For example, think about the opioid epidemic, right? There's an opioid epidemic right now, and the pharmaceutical companies make the opioids that everyone's addicted to, and the pharmaceutical company makes the new drugs they've invented to help wean people off the opioids that they're addicted to. What the fuck is going on? This is what? Huh? How dumb are we, people? This is crazy, right? We need to think about these things, okay? Who do you think pays for the textbooks that your doctors are studying? So, here's what happens. Now, I promise, we're getting into more kid stuff. I call this segment, Becoming a Parent, the Web of Lies, okay? And this starts from infancy. When you have an infant, what's one of the first things the doctor is gonna say to you, mommies? They're gonna talk to you about breastfeeding. And they're gonna tell you that lots of mommies have a real hard time breastfeeding, and if you're having trouble, there's no shame in switching to formula, because formula is every bit as nutritious as breast milk, right? That's what they tell you. Also, if you're a mom who breastfeeds your kids for a longer period of time than the rest of society would like, you become an outcast real quick. You will get called creepy, you'll get called a hippie. People even talk about things like freaking sexual abuse because you have a kid breastfeed till they're 2 years old or something like that, right? Now, God forbid other people think you're weird, right? So we might as well just jump on the formula train and avoid that whole nonsense anyway, okay? Now, before your child can even speak, the mainstream, mostly your doctors and the government, has hooked your child on sugar and trans fat. What do I mean by that? Their cellular health is compromised. Their metabolisms are damaged almost beyond repair. This is how we have insulin-resistant 6-month-olds. This is how we have obese infants in America. Maybe, according to mainstream, we should just tell those 6-month-olds to eat less and exercise more. Maybe that'll do something about their obesity because they're clearly lazy and eat too much. What a bunch of lazy assholes those babies are. This is crazy, people, okay? Now, for those of you that don't know, I'm gonna tell you why I'm talking about formula, because I'm gonna jump on the real quick train here of Savannah. So Savannah is my niece. I touch on this in great detail in AMA number 9, Feeding Your Children to Their Gut Bugs. I talk about it in AMA number 27, which is what makes Clovis different and why you need it. I get real upset and teary-eyed, and if you wanna see all that, it's part of the reason why Clovis exists. So, long story short, Savannah was born having 300 plus seizures a day. She has something called KCNQ2, just letters, KCNQ2, right? Now, Savannah's life expectancy was less than 3 years. She's still with us today. She's 4 years old. She's fed through a feeding tube. She's considered 100% disabled. She's considered 100% vegetative. They have a nurse in their house 50 hours per week. Like I said, she's outlived her life expectancy by over a year. And I'm going to talk about how my brother feeds her here in a second. But her condition is so rare that she's one of about 96 cases currently in the world. It's staggering, right? So the reason I say this is 4 years ago, this whole formula thing, part of the reason the Perfect Paleo Powder exists is because we were living in the pediatric ICU with some of the top neurologists in the world, and they were giving her a ketogenic baby formula that was mostly hydrogenated vegetable oils like corn oil, palm oil, soybean oil, all these things. Just horrible. I mean, literally cancer in a can. Like, this thing's as bad as it gets. It's carcinogen, right? So that's part of the reason the Perfect Paleo Powder was created years ago, released on the market, the first iteration. Now we have the 7 different powders, blah, 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 blah. So, I tell you this to lead into this segment of the episode where I'm going to outline how big food companies have conspired with the government to get your child hooked on sugar before they can even speak. The way that they did that is formula. They use formula to hook your child on sugar before they could even speak. This is strategic, I promise you. Let me walk you through this. I'm gonna go over some statistics for you because I had some questions in the groups, particularly about baby formula, and we can talk about the baby formula that I use, all these things, okay, right? So, we're gonna walk through this. Best-selling baby formulas in the US and their top 4 ingredients, okay? Number 1 is called Similac Advance. Americans spend $45.6 million on this product per year. Top 4 ingredients: non-fat milk, whey protein concentrate, high oleic safflower oil, and soy oil. Top selling brand in the world, in the country. Number 2, Enfamil Premium. Americans spend $35 million a year on this formula. The marketing claim is that it's backed by years of research and modeled after mother's breast milk. Top 4 ingredients: non-fat milk, lactose, a vegetable oil blend that includes palm olein, coconut oil, soy oil, and high oleic sunflower oils and safflower oil. It's ingredient number 3. Ingredient number 4, whey protein concentrate. That's weird. I don't remember a bunch of damaged hydrolyzed vegetable oils in mother's breast milk. Bunch of trans fats? That seems kind of weird, but I thought it was modeled after mother's breast milk. Okay, that's number 2, $35 million a year. Then you have Enfamil again, and they call this one Gentlease. Okay? The marketing claim here: gentle for sensitive tummies. Isn't that precious? The number 4 ingredients. Number 1, corn syrup solids. Number 2, partially hydrolyzed non-fat milk and whey protein concentrate solids from soy. What? Number 3, vegetable oil blend, yet again, that includes palm olein, soy oil, coconut oil, and high oleic sunflower oils. Number 4, Mortierella alpina oil. Delicious, everybody. Number 4 is our good old friends at Gerber. This is called Gerber Good Start. We spend $17.1 million per year on this formula. The marketing claim: modeled after the complete nutrition and gentleness of breast milk. Number 1 ingredient: corn maltodextrin. Huh? That's in breast milk? I hope that's not in your boobs, ladies. Let's just really hope that's not the case, right? Number 2, whey protein concentrate. Number 3, another vegetable oil blend. Who would have thunk it? Includes palm olein, soy oil, coconut oil, and high oleic safflower oil. Number 4, potassium hydroxide. Last but not least, we have Similac yet again. And this one is called Similac Sensitive. Oh boy. Similac Sensitive. $16.4 million per year in sales in the US alone. Top 4 ingredients: corn syrup, milk protein isolate, high oleic safflower oil, and sugar. What's happening? There you have it, the top 5 baby formulas in the US. The top 5 baby formulas in the US, right? Now I want to explain something to you guys really quickly. In episode number 9, which is called Feeding Your Children and Their Gut Bugs, I was going to talk about the gut microbiome today, but I did such a deep dive in AMA number 9. It's already there. It exists. It's a great podcast. It's a great video. I highly recommend you go watch it. I go deep down the rabbit hole of Savannah, what happened with her terrible formula, the gut microbiome. We talk about fecal matter transplants. We talk about ADHD, behavioral issues, all these things. Go watch AMA number 9. But since AMA number 9, I have had a recipe from my family for homemade baby formula on the website, on the blog, available for free for, what is that, 6 months? 6 months ago? I have forwarded it to countless parents personally, myself, via email. Do you know how many parents have written back to me and said that they even tried to make the formula? Zero. Zero parents. I'm done making excuses, everybody. This is going to be a hard hitting episode. This episode is not going to make you feel warm and fuzzy. I'm not the guy for that shit. Zero. Okay? Exactly none. This is a formula that takes exactly 10 minutes per day to create from scratch. 10 minutes. I've had close friends tell me that they were considering it, but then they decided not to because they ran it past their doctor. And their doctor said, "That's dangerous. You could hurt your baby." And then recommended soy formula. This is what we're dealing with, people. It's absolute lunacy. Whole foods versus soy. The doctor says the soy is healthy. What kind of Twilight Zone world are we living in, right? I'll give you an example. Savannah is 4. She's fed through a feeding tube. My brother still purees all of her food, all of her whole food. I ran her macros myself. We know her exact caloric intake. We know her exact grams of fat, her exact grams of protein, her exact grams of net carbs, the exact amount of probiotics she gets, the exact amount of EPA and DHA omega-3s. He does this in a blender every day, even though his health insurance company covers the shitty formulas. He can get it for free. He can feed this child for free because the health insurance will cover the dog shit formulas, and he says no and puts himself at tremendous financial strain. Okay? Financial tremendous strain. My brother's not rich. He's doing this because of something that I call priorities. This is simply a priority. Okay? Makes her food by hand every day. That's pretty crazy. Let's take a quick break. Let's check some comments. People are sending me messages. I really wish people wouldn't send me messages while I'm live. That's annoying. All right, let's look at some comments real quick. I'm really sorry. I'm going to get super worked up in this one. It's going to happen. I'm going to yell. I'm going to get red-faced, all these things. But we're almost to the point that you guys want, which is like recipes and stuff. Okay? We'll get there. Don't worry. What's up? Can't stay long. Krista, that's a bummer. You can watch tomorrow. Oy vey. Yes, was just listening to that. Yep, good episode. Follow the money, of course. So sad. Sugar isn't everything. Companies try to hide it. Absolutely. It's disgusting. 8 kids and 0 formula. Yeah, it's a sacrifice, but I don't regret it for a second. And you shouldn't. You should be very proud of that. And you should tell anyone who thinks that that's a problem to go straight to hell and then put a foot in their ass. Okay? Do that. All these. I'd like to know. What do you mean like to know? The formula is right on the website. It's all on, I think if you're talking about the formula, that's right on Clovis.store. It's been there for 6 months. All right. Let's move on. How much time we got? Time check. Okay, 8:30. Yep, time flies by. All right, let's do it. So now we're going to jump into, now that we've gone from formula, we're going to talk about the toddler years, okay? So those of you that had toddlers out there, we're calling this about ages 1 to 3, and then we're just going to deal with ages like 3 to 5 on up from there, right? So what happens when age 1 to 3? When you get off formula, what happens? Everyone wants to talk to you about milk, right? Everyone wants to talk to you about milk and how important it is, to the point where we know that some schools have a mandatory milk program that you have to pay for and you need a doctor's note to opt out of. Are you kidding me, right? It's ridiculous. So, let's chat. Reminder, we're talking per 12 ounces, okay? Sorry, I'm getting distracted by comments. I'll look at your comments in a second. Reminder, we're talking per 12 ounces. So, we're talking about this whole milk thing, how people think that you need milk. We talked about soda, and what we said earlier is 1% chocolate milk has 37 grams of sugar. That's 10 teaspoons of sugar. Then we have fat-free milk with 18 grams of sugar. That's 5 teaspoons of sugar. Guys, I don't have 10 teaspoons of sugar in a week, and I'm a 165-pound man. What do you think we're doing to the livers of these poor children, right? It's insane. And the argument that I always get, but Justin, without dairy, how will my kid get calcium? Please, please use Google for like a second. Like 1 second. Literally, okay? Because you can get calcium in salmon, collards, turnips, mustard, kale, beet greens, spinach, nuts, cabbage, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, shrimp, sweet potato, eggs, and on and on and on and on. Endless, okay? Oh, and by the way, you can take all of those foods all at once, cram them into the same plate, eat them all at one time, and not get 1/10 of the sugar that you would find in 1% milk. You could eat all those foods at the same exact time. This is insane, everybody. Crazy, right? What's the trade-off for calcium in milk, for a death sentence of sugar and insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes and behavioral problems and God knows what else, right? So then when we move on to preschoolers, we're calling that age 3 to 5, it becomes about cereals and oatmeal, right? Cereals and oatmeal for breakfast. Now, what people don't consider is the average size of a cereal bowl in America is actually 2 cups of dry cereal. And then you can add 1 cup of milk to that because of the way, if you put rocks in a bucket before you put sand, you can fit more rock. You know what I mean? That whole thing, right? So let's go with that. 2 cups. 2 cups of Fruit Loops, 20 grams of sugar, 5 teaspoons of sugar. 2 cups of Apple Jacks, 20 grams of sugar, 5 teaspoons of sugar. If you get maple and brown sugar oatmeal, because you know the kids are not eating plain oatmeal with water, please. Don't try to pretend like you're not adding anything to that, right? 12 grams of sugar per packet. That's 3 teaspoons of sugar for 1 packet of oatmeal. Just for heart-healthy oatmeal, right? According to the American Heart Association, all nonsense. It's complete bullshit, everybody. And from that age forward, it just gets worse. It's nothing but endless snacks all day long, 100% carbohydrate. It's one of my favorite Clovis graphics ever. I wish I could grab it and screen share it with you and all this, but I'm talking to you. But we had this a day in the life of a kid graphic that's like wake up, sugar, get to school, breakfast. They give you a breakfast at school, sugar, snack time, sugar, lunch, snack time, get home from school, after school snack, sugar, dinner, sugar, right? The average breakfast in America contains 73 grams of sugar, everybody. This is crazy. So I want to remind you of all these things as part of this back to school special. I think it's very, very important because you have to remember what you are up against. I know that it seems like there's moderation and it seems like, well, the kid just there's 6 Capri Suns in my refrigerator and the kid's gonna have 1 a day and increases risk of type 2 diabetes by 29%, like we just talked about. I know that it seems harmless, but you are correct in the fact that all of society is against you and all of society has been against you from day one. We need to take these things into consideration. You actually have your child, unless you're homeschooling, you're with your child far less than you're not with your child. You're with your child far less than other grown-ups are with your child. And those other grown-ups, when it comes to nutrition, are dum-dums. We know that because 70% of them are overweight. And we're putting our kids' nutrition in their hands. And the subsidies of the US government, and soda machines in schools, and Skittles, and Starburst, and chocolate chip cookies, and pizza, and hash browns everywhere you look, right? But that's what you're up against. And I want you to know that. And I've just outlined how the mainstream experts have hooked your children on sugar since before they could walk or speak. It's really twisted, guys. And this is what we're trying to undo here. And that's why I beg you to get your priorities straight, right? Now, let's dive into what you can do about it, okay? So we're gonna jump into some ideas, and then, let's see. Let me see how much I have left here because I'm trying to figure out. If I can take breaks, look at some of these comments. All right, we just went through toddlers, and then, yeah, we're gonna talk ideas for kids. Let me hit some of these comments because a bunch of comments came through. What do we got here? I missed a few. Day 3 of another who knows when fasting bender. Awesome, keep going. There are lots of reasons some babies can't breastfeed, so thank goodness for alternatives. A fed baby is best. I do hope. Okay, I disagree with you, Kristen. I disagree with you wholehearted, right? I disagree with the fed baby is best thing. That's actually debatable. I mean, I get what you're saying, so I'm with you, but this idea that we can make any kind of excuse for why we should feed babies actual poison, when we have clinical data that trans fats and damaged vegetable oils in human beings actually contribute to things like cancer and type 2 diabetes and Alzheimer's and dementia, how can we ever justify putting that in the stomach of a baby? Now, this is where I lose people, and I want the empathy thing to help people, I really am. But it doesn't take long to find an alternative. It doesn't take long to find a homemade baby formula recipe. It doesn't take long to find a functional medicine doctor who specializes in pediatrics and ask their opinion. It doesn't take long to do these things. It's very easy to throw your hands up and say, and I get what you're saying, so I guess I don't 100% disagree with you. I don't want to say it like that. I don't want to sound rude here. But what I'm saying is, I get what you're saying. A fed baby is better than a non-fed baby. I understand the concept of what you're saying, but it doesn't take a whole lot of work. And that's where I lose people, is I'm like, oh, this is literally your number one priority. Like, if you have to quit your job to go figure out this feeding situation for your child, that's more important than your job. It's the number one most important thing, you know? I mean, I'm telling you, it's just, you can find ways around these things. There are millions of people you can access on the internet. There are people like me who have blogs with homemade baby formula. There are plenty of other places. I got mine from the Weston A. Price Foundation. The Weston A. Price Foundation has an entire section on their website devoted to baby formula. It's just, it amazes me how people don't find these things, because you shouldn't sleep until you find these things. So I get the sentiment of what you're saying. Yes, I agree. A fed baby is better than a starving baby, of course, yes. But it would take an awful lot of obstacles and roadblocks and impossibilities for me to ever put any of these products in my child's stomach, right? That would be a cold day in hell, okay? I would puree normal food for them before I ever thought about doing any of these, right? It's far less dangerous. So there's that, sorry. I call Digestive Rest Cocoa, Digestive Rest PPP chocolate milk with the boys, and I get less shit from bastards than if I say they're drinking paleo protein powder. Yes, exactly, that's true. Just look at it like hot chocolate or chocolate milk or a delicious breakfast smoothie. We're gonna talk about that in a second for when we talk about breakfast ideas. It's all about convenience and lack of motivation to get the extra step, 100%. There is priorities. And for most parents, okay, take a step back, remove yourself from the equation. Let's pretend I'm talking about all other parents. Remove yourself from this. Every parent in the world will say, my number one priority is my kid's nutrition. In reality, their number one priority is convenience. In most cases, I'm not saying that's true of everyone. I don't make blanket statements. You guys know this. I do not make blanket statements. Things I see, just a touchy subject for me in my work. I wish I could hear your brother's story. I wish more could hear your brother's story. Yeah, me too. My brother's been on the news. My brother was a big reason why CBD oil was passed in Tennessee, and they have since revoked, as far as I know, which is crazy. It's nuts, guys. I mean, my brother was knocking down the doors of politicians trying to change actual policy, right? And it's hard for politicians to argue with you when you're holding a vegetative baby in your arms. You know, it's crazy. We try to get the story out as much as we can, but guys, getting the story out, that's up to you guys. If you want people to hear Savannah's story, go to my YouTube channel. Go to my story. Go to Feeding Your Children and Their Gut Bugs. Share it with every family member and relative and loved one that you have. Say, listen to this kid's story, right? Help me out here. I'm trying. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my part here, guys. All right? So let's get into ideas for kids. Let's see. All right, so ideas for kids, because I know you guys want this. There is only one way. Now I'm about to get nicer. A little bit nicer, a little bit more opinionated. Depends on how you look at it, right? But it's all out of love. I love your kiddos, I promise. I really do, okay? There's only one way for me to go easy on you as a parent. What I want you to do is switch your household to 100% whole foods. That's it, okay? Period. There's a period there. I want you to understand what I'm saying. Switch your house to a 100% whole food household. Forget about the Clovis list. Forget about lectins. Forget about inflammation. Have at it. Just switch it to a 100% whole food house. Just switch. That simple. I'll make it even easier for you. Only serve your kids foods that have one ingredient in the ingredients list. Combine them however you want, but only serve them foods with one food in the ingredients list, and then preferably use Clovis-approved condiments, which I have a boatload of. Use Clovis-approved condiments to get these foods down the child's face hole, okay? For instance, the only ingredient in broccoli is broccoli. The only ingredient in eggs is eggs. The only ingredient in beef is beef, etc., right? If you want a deep dive on the ingredients problem, watch AMA number 34, Time to Change Your Mind. I'll link to it in the show notes. If someone wants to grab a link, put it in the comments, that'd be great, whatever. So 100% whole food. This means no juices, no milk, no concentrates, no extracts, no sodas, no processed junk of any kind. Only whole foods. Why do I say this? Because if you make this simple switch, you're about 90% of the way to better health for your kids. You're literally about 90% of the way there. If you only do that for the rest of your life, you'll see astronomical changes in everything. It's that simple. In fact, if I can convince you to make this one change, to switch your household to whole foods, I will soften my stance on fruit just for you. That's right, I said it. I'm going to soften my stance on fruit and meet you halfway. If you make this switch to 100% whole foods and you can let your kid eat fruit, Justin and Clovis approved, if you meet these true criteria. Just 2 criteria, that's it, 2. 1, you have removed all processed foods and added sugars from your child's diet. That includes in society. Public school, team sports, everything. Which means you will be the parent at every event almost every day, at least once a week, telling your kid no to the cake and no to the ice cream and no to the gummy bears and no to the soda. You will be telling this kid no basically every day of their life in every societal setting. That's number 1, remove all processed junk and sugar from their diet. Number 2, try to get fruit that is organic and in season. If you can meet those 2 criteria, have at it. You have a 100% whole food house and now fruit is available to you. Do it. Just make the change. It's that simple. That's it. If you don't meet both criteria, I don't want to hear it. You're simply incorrect. Your child does not need fruit. Does not need fruit, period. I'm doing this to make things easier for you, okay? But they don't need it. Sugar is killing your kids, destroying their futures, and bankrupting the entire American economy. I cannot get this across in any more serious way, okay? Switch to a whole food diet. Change the world. Switch your household to 100% whole foods and you change the world. I'm not kidding. It's one less type 2 diabetic that we have to take care of with our tax dollars. That's a big freaking deal. Do your part. Change the world, right? And now we're going to get into ideas, okay? Because people ask me for food ideas all the time. So I'm going to give you food ideas right now in the most smart-ass, sarcastic way I possibly can. And you're going to understand that in a second, okay? This is what my conversations with parents go like, okay? I'll give you an example. We'll talk about breakfast. But Justin, what about breakfast? And I say, eggs and bacon. And they say, yeah, but what else? And I go, avocado and tuna? And they go, yeah, but what else? And I go, macadamia nuts and digest and rest paleo powder? Call it chocolate milk. And they go, yeah, but what else? And I say, sausage patties and green veggies? And they say, yeah, but what else? And I say, what about a delicious omelet with meat and veggies in it? And they say, yeah, but what else? And I say, what about sweet potato hash browns with coconut aminos and sea salt? That's like candy. And they say, yeah, but what else? And I say, what about a delicious chocolate breakfast smoothie? And they say, yeah, but what else? And I say, what about breakfast tacos in coconut paleo wraps? And they say, yeah, but what else? I need more ideas, Justin. The parents don't even realize that this conversation will go on indefinitely for all of time until I mention something that remotely resembles bread, bagels, cereal, Pop-Tarts, or waffles with syrup. That is what they're digging for, and that's just never going to happen. It's never going to happen. You guys know that I hate paleo substitutes for shit. I hate the idea of like, here's your kid's ketogenic waffle and ketogenic 100% maple syrup and ketogenic bagels and keto. Why? Why train the kid to eat like this? This is foolish. You're setting the kid up for failure, right? But that's what they're digging for. And this same conversation of, yeah, but what else? Yeah, but what else? Yeah, but what else? It happens for lunch. It happens for dinner. And I really don't know what else to do about it, guys. I really don't. It even happens for particular food items. Let me give you an idea, right? Justin, what about mayonnaise? And I say, Primal Kitchen mayo? Or just whip eggs and avocado in a bowl, homemade mayo. And they say, yeah, Justin, but what about condiments? And I say, Primal Kitchen, Annie's Organics, Coconut Secrets, Bragg's, Trader Joe's. And they say, but Justin, what about nut butters? And I go, Barney brand butters is pretty solid because they use blanched almonds. Or throw approved nuts in a food processor and turn it on until you have butter. And they go, yeah, but what about tuna salad? And I say, Primal Kitchen mayo or the homemade mayo that we just mixed in a bowl that I told you about earlier. And they go, yeah, but my kid loves soda. My kid's different. What about soda? And I go, Zevia? And on and on and on. So instead of giving you a list of ideas, I'm going to spell something out for you. just to see if I am a crazy person or if I am missing something. Tell me if I am missing something, okay? I'm gonna walk you through this and we're gonna see if I'm missing something. I'm about to give you the Clovis Kids Approved Foods list for free. This comes with a $127 membership. I'm about to give it to you free of charge to see if I am a crazy person, okay? Let's talk, parents. I'm on page 1, okay? Wild-caught seafood, any wild-caught fish, Alaskan salmon, shrimp, scallops, oysters, mussels, sardines, tuna, pastured poultry, pastured-raised eggs, chicken, turkey, duck, wild game, meat, beef, bison, wild game, venison, boar, elk, pork, lamb, prosciutto, resistant starches, Siete brand tortillas, Julian Bakery paleo wraps, sweet potatoes and yams, turnips, parsnips, yucca. Okay, let's move on to condiments. Coconut aminos, coconut secret, Primal Kitchen dressings, Primal Kitchen mayo, Annie's organic ketchup, Annie's organic mustard, Trader Joe's organic ketchup, Heinz organic tomato ketchup, all vinegars without added sugar, vegetables, all leafy greens, chives, spinach, scallions, broccoli, mushrooms, Brussels sprouts, chicory, kale, bok choy, cauliflower, celery, all cabbage, artichokes, asparagus, arugula, beets, watercress, radishes, collards, carrots, sauerkraut, onions, leeks, herbs and seasoning, all oils, extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, macadamia oil, MCT oil, walnut oil, sweeteners, sweet leaf stevia, monk fruit, flours, coconut, almond, cassava, arrowroot, sweet potato, snacks, Duke smoked meats, Paleo Valley beef sticks, DNX bars, Epic bars, Primal Kitchen bars, Tonka bars, bulletproof collagen bars, chocolate, all 80% and above cacao chocolate is allowed. Nuts and seeds, macadamias, walnuts, pecans, pistachios, pine nuts, coconut, chestnuts, flaxnuts, hemp seeds, Brazil nuts, milk and butter, Barney butter, almond butter, all of them. Kerrygold, pure Irish butter, Malk Organics, unsweet almond milk, Malk Organics, unsweet cashew milk, Califia Farms, Go Coconuts coconut milk, Califia Farms, unsweetened almond milk, liquids, water, black coffee, green tea, Zevia, LaCroix. What the fuck? What are we doing? What are we doing, everybody? I mean, I'm gonna lose my mind right now. We need variety? We need variety in our children's diet. We need variety in our children's diet. What are you talking about? Where are we, everybody? Where are we right now? Let's stop for a second, guys. I love you. I love your families, genuinely. I do this every day. I wake up every day and do this for 15 hours a day to get your families healthy. And you want variety. This list has over 127 foods on it. Over 127 foods. Remind me how you need more ideas. Remind me how there's not enough variety. Remind me how it's inconvenient with a full list of condiments, wraps, snacks. How is this a problem? It's a list of over 127 food items, and that's counting entire brands as one food item. For instance, Primal Kitchen, which has dozens of products that are all approved. Okay? And people have the audacity to call me out and say, there's no fruits on your list. This is unreasonable, Justin. This is unreasonable. I cannot, for the life of me, wrap my head around this. Not even a little bit. Not even with the most empathy that I can possibly muster in my soul. It's simply unfathomable to me, especially considering that the average child in America eats the same 4 food items all day, every day. Wheat, corn, soy, and sugar. That's your child's diet. It just feels like variety to you because some of that shit is shaped like Fruit Loops and some of that shit is shaped like goldfish. Some of that shit is shaped like cute little gummy bears. Variety. This is a myth, everybody. This is an illusion. The fact that you thought your kids were eating a variety of foods before Clovis just blows my mind. They simply were not. Your kids are picky because they've been eating the same things over and over and over, all cheap processed carbohydrates. The same foods in different packages with different cartoon characters on them. That's what we're dealing with. It's the same boring ass foods day in and day out. The difference is they're loaded with sugar and therefore they're addicting. Your kids are addicts. Do something about it. This is what we're dealing with, guys. I really don't know what else to say here, okay? I do not know what else to say. What time is it? All right, I got a couple minutes left, so I'm going to leave you with this. Let's see. I am Clovis. Okay? Are you? Here's what I mean by this. This is mostly for the parents that are not Clovis. Okay? I don't make blanket statements. This isn't everybody. But I did a Firefly chat last night. Firefly chat I do in the academy. Sometimes I sit out on my back porch late at night and chat with people live, right? And answer questions. And I expose that my least popular episodes, there are 3 episodes that name children and kids specifically in the title. Those take up 3 spaces in the top 5 least popular episodes that I've ever done. The least downloaded, the least viewed, the least clicked upon, the least shared. Anything to do with children. Anything to do with fasting and keto and fat loss. Numbers 1, 2, and 3. Priorities, right? Let's think about this. Not even one attempt for someone with the baby formula recipe directly from the Weston A. Price Foundation that's on my blog for free. I have moms, countless moms, emailing me to tell me that they fit in jeans that they haven't worn since high school, and their husband thinks they're sexy, and everything's better in their household. And then I ask about the kiddos, right? They just can't get the kids on board. But they got another non-scale victory. They just can't get the kids on board. The kids are still obese. The kids still have behavioral and developmental problems. Their kids are still eating nothing but processed carbohydrates. So, I want to be very clear about a few things. When it comes to your child's nutrition, a child that I don't even know that I care about very deeply, I want to be very clear about this with you. You have time. I assure you, you have time for your child's nutrition. If you have time for your favorite reality TV show and your kid is eating Fruit Loops for breakfast, if you have time for spin class a couple nights a week and your kids get mac and cheese and pizza for dinner while you eat chicken breasts and brown rice, if you have time for wine night with your girlfriends and you have sodas and Capri Suns in the refrigerator that your kids have access to 24 hours a day, if you have time, dudes out there, dads, for drinking beer and watching football all day on a Sunday, and you send your kids to school with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, if you have time to get your nails done and get your hair did, and your kids are drinking Tropicana orange juice by the glass, leave Clovis right now. You are not my people. I am here for my people. I am here for the kids, the Clovis kids, who are my people. I am here to change the world. That's why I get out of bed every day and work for 15 hours a day for people that I've never met. If I had children and I had to walk 20 miles one way to get them food every day, I would do it barefoot. I am a savage. Okay? It's this serious, you guys. I need you to understand this. There are a million reasons why you can't. There are a million excuses. There are a million societal pressures. There are a million everything. But I want to remind you of something. If you are a parent, being a parent is no longer optional. It is your reality. It's already a thing. This is your reality. It's the single most important job in your life. When you're this back to school season, I want you to understand a few things. You are the gatekeeper for these kids. You are the personal bodyguard for these kids. You are the doctor. You are the nurse. You are the nutritionist. In their eyes, you are God. Act accordingly. Do not stop until success is your reality. in transforming your kids' health for the better. Walk into their schools. Yes, in person, not a text message, not an email, not a phone call. Walk into the schools and let the administrators know that under no circumstances will your child be fed food that you did not personally approve. Tell them that your child is celiac. Tell them that your child has a severe peanut allergy. Tell them that your child has inflammatory reactions to sugar. Why? Because they do. The administrators there do not know enough about nutrition to fight you on this. Go tell them that. If they say they need a doctor's note, find a functional medicine doctor who will write you a note that says, keep gluten away from my kid. Keep carbohydrates away from my kid. Keep sugar away from my kids. If you can't find a doctor that'll do that, find another doctor. Keep trying until you find one. If that's a problem in your school, find a new school. If grandma and grandpa insist on giving ice cream and chocolate cake every time you visit, you tell them you're done visiting. That's all there is to this, guys. I have nothing else to say on this matter. This is where we're at, everybody. This is where we're at. Let's jump into some questions, and I'm going to show you some stuff that I'm doing for you guys. Okay? Actually, let me end with this because this is going to be a positive note for you guys. And then I'm going to jump into live Q&A. Okay? Clovis Kids and I Am Clovis. Big changes coming. I'm filming a video series starring yours truly that is going to tell you guys how to rethink your kitchen. It's going to show you the very few number of kitchen gadgets and accessories that you need to cook all the healthy meals that you need. I'm going to show you my top favorite recipes. I'm going to cook them for you on video and show you how it's done, none of which take more than 10 minutes from start to finish. I am also creating you a Clovis cookbook from a professional, well-known blogger with professional photography. There will be 20 recipes in this cookbook. You will get 5 cookbooks. You'll get 5 recipes for breakfast. You will get 5 recipes for lunch, 5 recipes for dinner, and 5 recipes for dessert. All of those recipes will have nothing but approved foods list items, and they will match your macronutrient ratio perfectly. Yes, I'm doing that for you. Yes, it's very expensive. Okay? So I'm filming a series of videos, giving you guys a cookbook. I'm also taking all of my favorite brands from Clovis Kids and the new approved foods list, which I've just updated, and making an entire section in I Am Clovis that's just clickable links to take you to the exact brands I just talked about. Primal Kitchen, Bragg's, Coconut Secret, all of these things. One click, deliver it to your doorstep. I am removing any and all excuses because, guys, the more I research childhood nutrition, the more I teeter on the brink of depression. And I'm not kidding. That's not an exaggeration. That's not easy for me to admit to you. It's horrific. It's about as bad as it gets. So I'm going to remove any and all obstacles for you guys. You are going to get a 20 recipe cookbook, breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert. You're going to get a video series from me, how to cook, what exactly. I'll give you links for exactly the tools that I use. What skillet do I use? This one, click the link. What spatula do I use? This one, click the link. What coffee do I consume? This one, click the link. I'm going to make this everything. I'm going to make it as simple as I possibly can. No more excuses, all right? Let's jump into live Q&A. All right? Thank you guys for putting up with my rant. I need you to understand that this really means a lot to me, okay? What else we got? Cookbook, awesome. Yes, for sure. Feel like we ran a marathon in this episode. We definitely did. Concrete, I like it. Yes, all right. You guys are reacting well. That's cool. I was nervous about this one, but I just don't know. I can't do the fluff. I can't do it. I don't have time to make multiple meals per taste of each family. Exactly. That's why you don't. Kristen, we've talked about this a lot. I've talked about this a lot in the childhood episodes. Your kids aren't dictators. Sorry. It doesn't go that way. You don't make multiple. Why would you make multiple meals for every single person who wants something different? Today, for lunch, is salmon and green veggies. That's lunch. Eat up, kids. There's coconut aminos on it, so it's freaking delicious. Don't give me that shit. Or here's tuna with Primal Kitchen mayo wrapped in Sun Food, Superfoods, coconut, paleo wraps. Perfect for little kids. Fun to eat. That's lunch today. Junior doesn't get lunch, and Susie gets lunch B, and hubby gets lunch C. That's setting yourself up for failure. You make the rules. Period. You're the parent. Remember that. Empower yourself here, okay? I get it. I know that it's hard. I totally do. I totally understand. But trust me. I mean, you know, and get help from your family. My dad makes baby formula for little Tyler now. My dad makes the baby formula at home in his house. And he puts it on a cooler and delivers it to my brother. It's a pretty amazing dad, but Papa Nault's pretty tough to touch. The dude's incredible, right? You got to hear my 2-year-old say macadamia nuts. You should film him saying macadamia nuts. That would be awesome. What else we got? Avoid mission drift. Draw the line, zero tolerance. That's how chronic illness creeps in and takes hold of generations. If it's not on the list, no. I agree. Yep, but I'm trying to meet people halfway, dude. But I appreciate it. I know you're all in. That's awesome. I hope new people are tuning in at this exact moment. Handsome man yelling about vegetables. Yes. Someone please make this into a small clip. I will. I have almost all the AMAs in, actually, if anybody wants to volunteer, I have literally like all the AMAs, especially the most popular ones, segmented into like 90-second clips. And I'm gonna be making playlists. So another thing I'm doing for you guys behind the scenes, I'm gonna be making playlists of like, here's a YouTube playlist of all the times Justin talks about fasting. Here's a YouTube playlist of all the clips where Justin talks about sugar. We can make a red-faced Justin playlist where I literally just scream at you in every single clip. That sounds awesome. The adults too, they want a replacement for all their families. I totally get it, but life is easier when you let go. Yes, exactly. And that's what I'm struggling with as Clovis grows, as we, reach out and get more people from, just average people coming into the Clovis fold. It's amazing how easy they want it. It's amazing how much they really don't want to change. It's like, oh, everything you've ever done is not working? Well, here's this thing that's completely different. And they're like, huh? Too much? No! I want something different, but that's like really easy. What's that? Huh? Okay. I feel like this is really easy, but you guys know what I'm saying. Yeah, cookbook is happening. I fought it as long as I could for a cookbook because I hate cookbooks. Cookbooks are the #1 selling type of book in America, and they are also the #1 collector of dust in America. Let's all be honest, right? Hashtag truth, absolutely. Oh my gosh, I want that on a shirt. Eat whole foods, change the world. That is a great shirt. Stevie, I might make that happen. I get a lot of shirt recommendations, and that is a badass one. That's great. What else we got? Switched my kiddos' lunches this year, and no one has complained. There you go. Just do it. The kid dictator stuff. A lot of people use that term. I see it in Clovis Kids and in the groups and stuff. They use the term kid dictator. And I smile at it. I click the emoji button, and I'm like, there will never be a kid dictator in my house. That's not something that will ever exist. Ever. Nope. All right, so we have reached the situation where it will no longer let me scroll up for comments. So that's all I'm gonna be able to see, guys. But let's see what else we got. Loved it. Thank you, Justin. Simple is good. Bad, I didn't know when my kids were young. Yeah, my parents didn't know at all. Like my dad, look at my dad. My dad's 59 years old with 6-pack abs. He didn't know when we were a kid. He'd give me chocolate milk and chocolate frosted donuts on the way to hockey, right? It's crazy. Thank you, Justin. I never do. They've always eaten adult food from age 6 months. Yeah, that's awesome. Kristen was saying she doesn't have time and won't she know jokes. Oh my God, no, I've told so many people Clovis is simple. You don't get me. I'm trying to get you. I'm just going by your comments. He is. Love Charlie. Charlie's the best. I'm getting pretty excited about this baby Red to grow up eating real. Yes, for sure. Baby led weaning is awesome. It's so easy for everyone. Amanda, eating real foods and viewing others as abnormal, not us being the oddballs. Yeah, that would be fantastic. Hate that phrase. Which phrase? Clovis has simplified my life so much. I'm the dictator here at home. Yes, parents were pretty much always the dictators until like the last couple generations, right? Like, trust me, when I was growing up, I did not tell Dad what to do. Nope, didn't tell Dad what to do. Oh, kid dictator. Yeah, that phrase really irks me too. And I know most people are joking. Like people say these things as jokes a lot of the time, but it creeps in. Like you start allowing stuff, and you got a situation on your hands, All right, so it is. Come on, cursor. What time is it? Well, let me look. 9:09. Okay, pretty good. We went about an hour. I'm trying to get these back down to an hour, guys, just so they're easier for people to take in. And what's cool is usually there's about 10 minutes of me like, hey, what's up? Let me see the screen. Let me refresh the screen. Let me do all these things. What are we doing? Blah, blah, blah. Can we see everything? Does the lighting look good? And again, I chop all of that out for the podcast. That's called the Perfect Podcast. So you can literally just, all you have to do is actually search my name. That's the easiest way I've found to do this. Just on podcast platforms, like if you search podcast within Spotify, search my name. If you search iTunes, but remember to search inside of podcast, because if you just search my name just randomly, you're gonna get all music, because I did that forever, right? So search Justin Nault. It's called The Perfect Podcast. I broke this marker. I got angry and broke the marker. Sorry, guys. But yeah, so check out the podcast. There's 37 episodes because there's an episode with Dad and I, like just driving in the car one day. So there's actually more than just the AMAs. I'm going to be recording new episodes. It's another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. I want to get all of your favorite influencers. Tell me who your favorite Instagram accounts are, your favorite nutrition gurus, your favorite doctors, your favorite yogis, your favorite personal trainers, your favorite reality TV celebrities, your favorite musicians, because I have a lot of contacts in the musician world. I can probably get in touch with some really cool people. So let me know who you would like to see me talk with, and I will do interviews. I'm going to be doing more interview-style podcasting, so that's going to be really cool. And I want to cover everything. It doesn't have to be nutrition. Literally, it could be your favorite reality TV contestant, just whoever. Just shoot names at me, send me emails, justin@clovisculture.com. Remember, everything that you need is at clovis.store. So go to clovis.store. You can sign up for I Am Clovis. That's a custom nutrition plan. You can get Clovis Kids there. Clovis Kids, like we just talked about here, you'll get a full Clovis Kids approved foods list. You'll have a calculator to run macronutrients, see exactly what the caloric need is for your kids. That's a crazy thing too, because there's a lot of people with, Sam and I were looking through this, that the estimated caloric need for a boy ages 2 to 3, moderately active, is 1,200 to 1,400 calories. I have women who come to me eating 800 calories. They're eating less calories per day than recommended for a 2 to 3-year-old boy. Full-grown adults, right? That has micronutrient deficiency written all over it. That has malnourishment written all over it. So if you don't know what you should be eating, if you don't know how much you're eating, get in there, sign up for I Am Clovis, get a Clovis Kids package for your kids, get I Am Clovis for yourself. That's a custom nutrition plan. You work with me one-on-one. I build your plan custom myself with this thing by hand, right? I run all your numbers for you. We go over your expected results, what your aesthetic goals are, your physique goals, your performance goals, all the things. I run it for you one-on-one. You get direct access to me, and we'll do custom nutrition coaching. So pretty awesome. I'll check a couple of these comments. With all the outrage we have these days, it's so refreshing to hear outrage about something so important. I totally agree. Boys ate 1.5 pounds of beef tonight just for dinner. We are crushing those calories. Toddler beasts! I love those little beasts. That's awesome. Killer. All right, guys, so this has been AMA number 36, the back to school special. I know it probably wasn't what you expected. I know that I got pretty upset. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't offend anybody. If I offended you, you're probably doing some things wrong. Let's just be honest about that. So, this has been live, Ask Me Anything, number 36, back to school special 2018. My name is Justin Nault. Check out Clovis Store. Check out clovis.store. clovis.store/AMA for all my previous AMAs. Thank you guys so much for being here. Send me your questions. If you're in the groups, get to the groups on Facebook, Clovis Academy, I Am Clovis, and Clovis Kids. I will see you tomorrow. We'll do a live video, do the manifesto in the Clovis groups. It's going to be awesome. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. You rock. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great night.